Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well let's learn English together. Well, hello people. How are you all? Is everyone having a great day? Was your evening the sort of evening that Hollywood stars normally have? Did you do exciting things? Did you have a fantastic time? Well, I hope you did. Evenings are meant to be fun, aren't they? And what else is meant to be fun? Yes, that's right. My chickens of the forest, my gnus of the plain, my gibbons of the jungle, my lemurs of the urban jungle. English. English is meant to be fun. So, tell me, are you all ready to have some fun today? I bet you are. Well then, tell Gusti, the dancing dog, to settle down and chill out for the next few minutes. Tell Margot, the cat, to go out into the garden and sleep there. And remind Nigel, our good old guinea pig, Nigel, that we need him to stop making that funny grunting sound for the next few minutes. Okay, so now that's all done, we can get started. So, let's get on with it. Let's get it on. Okay, so today we're going to look at something new. Today we're going to look at to and either. We use to and either to show that we agree with something. We can agree with something positive using to, and we can agree with something negative using either. Listen to this conversation between the Benchfield kids. John, Elizabeth, Doreen and Tim. I like pizza. I like pizza too. I do too. I don't. So, from that conversation, we can see that 3 of the Benchfield kids, John, Elizabeth and Doreen, like pizza. Tim doesn't like pizza. And did you notice? Do you remember that when we make a negative sentence using the present simple, we have to use an auxiliary verb, the verb to do, to make the sentence? Tim does not like pizza. Good. I'm sure you all remembered. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to learning about to and either, shall we? Okay, so we can see how to use to from the conversation the kids had. We add to the end of a sentence to show that we agree, or the second half of the sentence agrees with the first half of the sentence. I'm Hungarian. I'm Hungarian too. Virag is Hungarian. Kristi is Hungarian too. So, in the first couple of sentences, we can see that we use to say that something is the same, that I am also Hungarian. Someone made a positive statement, and we use to at the end of a sentence to show that the two things are the same. We're both Hungarian. You're Hungarian and I'm Hungarian too. We use to and either at the end of sentences. We use to after a positive form of a verb, and we use either after a negative form of a verb. Now, let's have a look at the Benchfield kids' next conversation. I don't like anchovies. I don't like anchovies either. I do. I like anchovies. I don't like anchovies either. Okay, so we're learning more about the eating habits of the Benchfield kids. Good. But the important thing for us today is to and either. Now, in the first conversation, most of the kids agreed with John's statement that he likes pizza. John likes pizza, and Elizabeth and Doreen also like pizza. They like pizza too. In the second conversation, we learned that John doesn't like anchovies. Also, Elizabeth doesn't like anchovies. John doesn't like anchovies, and Elizabeth doesn't like anchovies either. Tim doesn't like anchovies either, but Doreen does. Doreen likes anchovies. So, in that conversation, we heard the kids using the word either at the end of some of their sentences, didn't we? Just like to, we put either at the end of a sentence to show agreement. But, and this is the difference between to and either, either shows agreement with a negative verb, and to shows agreement with a positive verb. So, for example, we can't use to when we're using a negative verb. I don't like potatoes. I don't like them too. I don't like them either. And in the same way, we can't use either when we're using a positive verb. I like potatoes. I like them either. I like them too. Great. So that's easy, isn't it? We use to and either to show agreement, and the only thing we have to be careful with is that if we're using a positive verb, then we use to show agreement, and if we're using a negative verb, we use either to show agreement. All right, time for a few practice sentences, I think. Are you ready for a few practice sentences? I reckon you are. All of you gods of English, sitting there raring to go, ready to get started on some practice sentences. Okay then, here we go. As usual, let's do the first one together as an example, shall we? Number 1, I'm happy. I'm happy too. Great. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? Someone said that they were happy, and another person said they were happy too. The second person agreed with what the first person said. And because we were using a positive verb in the sentence, we all remembered that we have to use to. And where do we put to? That's right, it goes at the end of the sentence, doesn't it? Okay, so the first one is done. Now have a go at the rest. Great! Well, how did you get on? They were easy, weren't they? Yes, especially for you lot, you gods of English. Okay, so you know that they were easy and I know that they were easy too, but let's check them together to make sure that we got them all right. All right, number 1 we did together. So let's move on to number 2. And what sort of verb are we using in number 2? Is it positive or negative? It's positive, isn't it? And what does that mean? That's right. That means if we want to agree with the sentence, then we have to use to. He's moving to Africa. She's moving to Africa too. Easy. Easy. Okay, next one. And what form is the verb in? Is it a positive verb or a negative verb? Ooh. This one's negative, isn't it? It's a sentence about the member of the British royal family, Prince Charles. He doesn't like asparagus. And we can see that the verb is negative because we've added not to the auxiliary verb to do. And we've made the form for the third person singular. In the present simple, the third person singular adds an S, doesn't it? I like, you like, but he likes, she likes, and it likes. Okay, but when we make a negative sentence in the present simple, and also when we ask a question in the present simple, we have to use the auxiliary verb to do to help us make the negative and the question form. So, I like becomes I don't, do not like. You like becomes you don't, do not like. And the third person singular form, he, she, or it likes, becomes he doesn't, does not like, she doesn't, does not like, and it doesn't, does not like. When we're asking questions in the present simple, we also have to use the auxiliary verb to do to help us make the question. For the first person singular, the question is, do I like? For the second person singular, the question is, do you like? And for the third person singular, the question is, does he like? Does she like? And does it like? Fantastic! So, we can see that we're using a negative form of the verb in the sentence about Prince Charles. And that means that if we want to agree with it, what do we need to use? That's right, we use either to agree with a negative verb. Prince Charles doesn't like asparagus. The Queen doesn't like asparagus either. Brilliant! So, on we go to the next one. And what sort of a verb is it? Is it positive or is it negative? It's negative, isn't it? Yes, we're saying that Boris can't drive a car. Can is the positive form and can't, cannot is the negative version, so it's negative. Which means that we need to put either at the end of the next part to make sure that it agrees. Boris Grushenko can't drive a car. He can't ride a motorbike either. Great! And did you notice anything different about that sentence? Yes, that's right. This time, it wasn't one person agreeing with another person. It was two people talking about a third person. The first person gave us some information about Boris Grushenko, and then the second person added some information. So, we can use to and either in that way also. All that matters is that if the verb is positive, then we use to show agreement, and if the verb is negative, we use either to show agreement. Great! Okay, now the sentence about the martial arts giants, Chuck Norris and Master Ken. Okay, so one question. Is the verb positive or negative? It's positive, isn't it? Yes, Chuck Norris is. It's a positive sentence. And what does that mean? That's right, Batman. That means we're going to use to, aren't we? Yes. Chuck Norris is a martial arts legend. Master Ken is a martial arts legend too. Excellent. Well done. Okay, and now, yes, it's that time again. It's time to welcome Enid into the studio. Enid, are you there? Well, come on in. We're waiting for you.
Hello, people. Hello. I know. It's been a while since I last visited the studio. But, well, I felt depressed after the football fiasco. I didn't feel like speaking to anyone. But that's all in the past now. I've decided that I should concentrate on a different sport. And I've been looking at another type of ball sport. This time, I'm thinking of taking up a racket sport. You know, a sport that you play with a racket, like tennis or squash, something like that. So, first things first, I'm going to learn as much as I can about these sports, and then I'll decide which one to try. Maybe I'll try all of them. Okay then, well, I've got to get cracking. There's no time to waste. I just popped my head around the door to let you know that I'm still here, and I'm still doing fine. And now, well, Keith needs his walkies, and I've got to start studying sports again. So, toodaloo, pip pip, chitty bye.
And she's gone, off to learn as much about tennis, squash, and other racket sports as she can. You know, I'm not convinced that these sports are the right sports for Enid. You know, she's an eel and, well, she hasn't got any arms. How's she going to hold the racket? Oh well, I don't want to rain on her parade, so I think I'll just let her get on with it, okay? Okay, people, that's all the time we've got for today. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Remember to have fun for the rest of the day and evening. And remember to always enjoy yourselves. Oh, and if you need more English, use the chances that M5 has given you. Our lessons are uploaded to the internet and you can watch them over and over again. But they're only there for about 6 months. So use it or lose it, people. All right, you all know the address, don't you? Yes. www.m5tv.hu. That's the address to go to. That's where you'll find our old lessons, and that's where we've got the vocabulary lists too. Okay then, until tomorrow. See you later. Bye.